give me the transition from your perspective, because you did this for so many years, when you first started as a trainer to how training is done now today. And you've only been retired for 9 years. So you got a chance to witness how it was when you first started compared to how it was when you left.
You just heard me when you gave me the mic. You sure you want to go down this rabbit hole with me? Because you're not going to get another word in for a while.
Well, Gary, be doing us a favor.
Okay.
We do want to ask you some questions.
We do have a few questions.
So give us the short version so we can ask you some questions.
Right, well, let's put it this way. When Kobe retired in 2016, I can make an argument. You were the head coach.
Yes.
I can make an argument that he was the best player with his back to the basket in the league at the time. He would not be able to play the game the way he played it in 2016. And that was just 9 years ago.
You mean he wouldn't be able to play today like he played then?
Yes.
But we both know that he would adapt anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No.
And
I'm
he
saying
still
the
would
way
dominate.
the way he played it, he would have killed you a different way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But he would have killed you.
Yeah.
Okay. He would have figured it out.
Yeah.
Okay. He would have figured it out before they figured it out.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
That was Kobe.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is a lot of what you're talking about with the way the training is and the running and how the game is played has a lot to do with why are there so many injuries, because I'm getting those calls all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I'll try not to go all the way down the rabbit hole, but let's just talk a few things about what we do know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What we hear a lot is too many games, too much basketball at a young age. And that is absolutely true, but maybe not explained the way it should be explained.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do know about the human body, and this is well documented in the research, is that repetitive movement causes compensation, and the compensation causes dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of basketball, the game is played between here and here, what we call the core.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you a question. Who's a player that you know that played over 20 years that was doing core work before we even talked about core and never got hurt?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's right. He was doing yoga.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And he started talking to me. He didn't use the word core. He just said the game's played between here. And I started listening to him. Okay? And he's right. Okay? Now, we may not have known what we know today about what he was doing, but when you look back on it, the man was a pioneer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, he sprained his ankle, he broke his hand, but the guy never pulled a muscle or anything like that.
You're right.
So the game is so much faster and so much more powerful. Where is all that coming from? It's coming from their hips.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the hips. So these hip flexors get really, really tight. They start to rotate your pelvis forward. That starts to really pull on your hamstring because your hamstring attaches underneath your pelvis and then crosses your knee joint. It shuts off the neural drive to your glute. So now, because your glute shut off, your hamstring's doing more work. That becomes prone. Your adductor muscles, which are your groin muscles, they attach underneath your pelvis. Mm-hmm. So they're working harder. Okay? So now, if you don't have a strong core, all this it's all about generating force from your lower extremity through your pelvis to your upper extremity. And we call that the kinetic chain. So if you hit a link in the chain that can't handle the load, okay, that's where it's going to fail. Mm. And it starts at the heel strike. So it could be your Achilles tendon. It could be your plantar fascia in your foot. It could be your Achilles tendon. It could be your calf. Okay. It could be your hip. It could be your back. It could be your neck. Okay. It goes all the way up kinetic chain. So going back to what we said about playing too much basketball, when we were kids, and I was a kid before you were a kid, but you experienced this. Yeah, I'm older than you. I think when I came in, there was Kareem, McAdoo, and Jamal Wilkes were the only 3 guys older than me. Everybody else was younger than me. And then by the time I graduated, I could have been these kids' grandfathers. Okay? That was Kobe's joke with me, is that I watched him grow up and he watched me grow old. I had him 20 years.
Yeah,
Facts. You know, I got him at 17.
Facts. Yeah.
Okay. So these kids, when we were young, going back to this, we played, especially if you were from the East Coast or cold, Midwest, anywhere where there was cold weather, you played football in the fall. Mm-hmm. Then it got too cold, so you went inside and played basketball. Mm-hmm. Then it warmed up in the spring, and you went back outside and played baseball. As a result, you were a 3-sport athlete. What were you doing? You were cross-training. The word didn't exist.
Right.
We didn't know that's what we were doing, but that's what we were doing. So you weren't doing the repetitive motion over and over. So now you're 7 years old. You might be good in several sports, but you really are shining in one sport, whatever it is. Doesn't necessarily have to be basketball, because we're not the only sport that people are getting hurt in doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing over and over and over again at 7 years old. So by the time I get you, you've developed these postural and movement dysfunctional patterns that it's almost impossible for us to get you out of it completely. We can get you out of it for a period of time. Once again, we'll release the hip flexor, stretch the hip flexor, stretch the hamstring, activate the glute. Now we have you in pelvic neutral. Now we're going to put you out on the court. Now what we're looking at as your movement is your movement efficiency. Okay? How well are you moving through space in an uncontrolled manner? Because when we're doing it in the gym, we're doing it in the performance laboratory with force plates and all that, it's still controlled. Mm-hmm. But now you're on the court and there's somebody in front of you. I laugh when I see some of these drills where you take a basketball and you dribble a ball. They're looking for peak acceleration. So you're dribbling a ball in a straight line, 90 feet from baseline to baseline. When have you ever done that in the basketball game?
There's no straight line in basketball.
It's all about diagonal movements, which now let's go to something else that we do know. Okay? I've already told you some stuff. You're with me so far, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
I hope our audience is with you.
Okay. I don't know if I can make it.
Well, put it this way. All of you out there that want to be trainers, this should be something that you really pay attention to. Because he's really breaking it down on some of the main reasons that we're having some of the injuries that we're having in the NBA today.
Okay, so make sure you say this.
Here's some of the kickers. Okay. I just mentioned peak acceleration. There's been a trend for a long, long time, bigger, faster, stronger. Mm-hmm. And they've achieved it. Mm-hmm. These guys are flying up and down the floor. They are strong. When you look at them, they are specimens.
Yeah, no, I agree.
When you watch them run, they can fly. Yeah. But what we're not looking at as a whole, I'm sure some people are, but I'm out of it. Okay. But what is their movement efficiency? I already know they can run fast.
Right.
I already know that they're the fastest, strongest basketball players in the world. How are they carrying their center of gravity as they're moving through space in an uncontrolled manner? And here's where the rubber really meets the road. Something else that we know, the two things the body doesn't like is slowing down and turning. Torque. If you were accelerating continuously, you just ran as fast as you could in a straight line, probably never going to get hurt. It's when you try to slow down. When you look at Michael Jordan flying down the floor, taking off at the free throw line, we were mesmerized. I feel like I can fly. Mm-hmm. And before him, Dr. J, right? Trust me when I tell you, it looks like they are accelerating all the way through that moment that they leave the floor, they didn't. Right before they jumped, they were slowing down. You might not be able to see it with a naked eye, but with high-speed cameras and sensors, we can see that.
Right.
So when you're trying to slow down, these muscles are lengthening under great tension, more tension than when the muscles are shortening when you're running in a straight line. They're shortening, okay? Now they're lengthening under great tension. And if they can't handle the load, wherever that load is at that moment, if that link in the kinetic chain can't handle the load, it's going to fail. And that's where you're going to get hurt. Okay? And it's kind of that simple. Now you add in the turning, torque, twisting. Okay? Now you're really putting yourself in harm's way because that's how we tear ACLs. Okay? That's how we tear meniscus in your knee. You don't tear a meniscus by running in a straight line. You tear it when you plant your foot and turn. Okay? And so yes, it is about playing too much basketball, but probably not so much as playing so much and not having recovery time. It's playing so much that you've developed these postural and movement dysfunctional patterns. Okay? So that your movement efficiency isn't good. We get you out of it. We get you in neutral. You start the game. You're doing pretty well. Now you're starting to fatigue. Once you do, you go back into that default pattern. You'll see the guys at the free throw line holding their shorts. Okay.
Tired.
Yes, because they don't have the core strength, okay, to keep themselves, okay, their center of gravity. Okay. Now, I should get a T-shirt. Okay. So you should have coined the phrase 3 repeat. Ryle stole that from you. He shortened it to 3-peat. You lost a lot of money on that one. Okay, but you stole.
Why you want to bring that up?
You stole enough money other places, made up for it. But,
so you talking about it came out even?
But listen to this. We call it core strength because it sounds good.
Right.
Strength is your ability to generate force. Power is how fast can you generate it. Endurance is how long can you generate it. We really should call it core endurance because the longer you can control your center of gravity with your core, the least likely you'll get hurt as you're moving through space in these uncontrolled manners. That's why all these people that, for whatever their reasons are, sitting in front of desk or playing golf, too much tennis, too much swimming, whatever the cause of their pain is, they take up yoga, they take up Pilates, and it counters all the dysfunctional patterns that you've created over time.